Hello everyone, due to a technical difficulty I won't be able to post the class from today on this site. However, you will be able to watch this short 10-minute video explaining everything that we looked at today. So this might be a little bit better for you anyway. So today we looked at present simple and present continuous again, and we made a table in which I talked about the key meanings of these tenses. Okay, so with present continuous we use it to talk about the near future. For example, tomorrow Mr. Green is going to be discharged. That's talking about the near future. Maybe it's coming very soon. Okay. We also do not use present simple to talk about what is happening now. We use present continuous to do that. So Mrs. Jones is having surgery. And we also use present continuous to talk about temporary repeated actions. So actions that are ongoing and are being repeated, but they're not habitual yet. They're kind of recent. So if I say Mr. White is exercising these days or at the moment, that's not happening now, but it's a repeated action that's happening in the more recent moment, right? So this week or in the last 2 days, that kind of thing. That needs to be contrasted with present simple, which we use to talk about routine actions. So here, Mr. Green eats healthy food. That's true in the past, true now, true in the future. It's a routine, it's a habit. It's very similar to this one, and that's where people make a lot of mistakes when they're speaking. The way to avoid this is to use phrases like these days or at the moment to distinguish what you're trying to say. We also use present simple for general truths. So nurses try to help people. That's not a description of routine action, it's rather just a general truth. Politicians are corrupt. Water boils at 100 degrees. Something like that. So to review this, we looked at these 5 sentences here, and we established why or what meaning each one had. So for example, number 1, with this phrase at the moment, it tells us that it's a repeated temporary action. I'm going to the cinema a lot at the moment. So I'm not going to the cinema now. It's not a routine action. It's not a general truth. It's a repeated temporary action. So in the last week or in the last month, I have been doing activities like this. So we went through that in class, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can see all the correct answers underlined here if you want to review that. And we then did this exercise here, which was find the verbs. Are they right? Are they wrong? What is the reason? So, for example, we looked at the phrase water boils at 100 degrees. And together we established that this is present simple. And this is present simple being used to talk about general truths. We went through all of these, identifying the verbs and identifying the tense and the purpose. So again, you can review that if you like. All the details are here, everything's underlined and all the answers are there. When it came to number 10 though, I told everyone that this is an exception. This is something different. And it's an exception because some verbs, like have, are always non-continuous verbs. That means we don't ever use them in the ing form. When have means own or possess, then you can never use ing. So we looked at some of these common non-continuous verbs. And really, you just need to learn these and try to get used to not using these in the continuous tense. Right? So this is something that you need to study and remember. But as a way to kind of underline this point, the final activity of the class was we pulled out some of our favorite examples of non-continuous verbs. They're all usually state verbs. And we wrote example sentences where the meaning is a continuous action, right? Or a repeated temporary action, which is to say where the meaning was present continuous. But instead of using present continuous, because we can't, we created sentences that had the same meaning but used present simple. So for example, you can say, I would prefer to read a novel now. not I am preferring to read a novel now. Interesting here for words like, love, and prefer. The closest way to get to this idea of something that's happening now is to use the modal verb would. With want, show, and hate, you can just use verb 1, right? So you can just say, I want a coffee. That means it's happening now. I am experiencing this want of the coffee. Same with show and hate. We also looked at see. Interestingly, see is also an exception. We don't say, I am seeing you, but we don't either say, usually, I see you, so much as I can see you, right? Or I can see that you are ready. So the explanation here is this is happening right now, but you need to use can with the verb see. With all other verbs above, we use verb 1, right? So senses, all other verbs for the senses. We can use verb 1 and we can have a continuous meaning. Here's the verb mean. So you don't say she is meaning. You say she means that she doesn't like seafood. The explanation here is simply that that's happening right now. Know. At the moment, I know that it's hard for you to recover from this condition. So this is a temporary, this is actually maybe a temporary repeated action. At the moment. So at the moment I am eating a lot of kale, for example, you might say in the continuous form, but you can't say knowing. So instead you would say just know. So verb 1. Need is the same, so she needs our help now. Again, we're not going to say she is needing our help now. It is happening right now, but we can't ever use ing for these types of verbs. So study the verbs. Send your mentors little practice sentences if you want. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another class on tenses. Thank you very much.